Today I'm going to be making a bouquet from Trader Joe's. I'm going to be going not only over what I do to try and spread this little flowers into two different bouquets, so I can have one for my living room and one for my bedroom. I'm also going to be going over the prices for each of these. That way you can see just how affordable it is to make professional looking flowers right at home. So at Trader Joe's, I grabbed 3 different types of greenery flowers. I started off with 2 of these bunches, which are called Green Dragon, and these were $3.99 each. I thought these things were crazy. They had it named as Billy Balls, but there is like a full official Billy Balls. I got one of those, and these were also $3.99. And then for the main star of the show, I normally would grab 2 different types of flowers, but I decided to do garden roses, which I don't normally like roses. These were really calling to me. I love the two-tone color on these. Are you kidding me? Those are so beautiful. The orange and the pink. These were only $10.99. Well, let's get these open.
A few moments later.
My number 1 tip is to have a trash can right beside you. We're panning down for a bit so that you can see everything. So I am starting by getting all of these open, and I've got my 2 beautiful vases. I've got this short round one that is a tortoise shell. Both of these were from Home Goods or TJ Maxx. So I'm going to start by prepping all of the roses. I'm going to go ahead and push the greenery to the side for now. With these roses, especially because we want them to take up the most space possible, since I'm trying to make 2 bouquets, I am going to try and make them as fluffy as possible. Now, I personally do not like these leaves on here because I bought greenery for a reason. So I usually will start to kind of pluck these off just to get a clear stem. You'll have some of these petals right on the outside that have just been damaged, whether it be in transport, maybe they're just dying off naturally. It's a part of life, you know. I start by taking off very carefully the most outer petals. He loves me not. He loves me not. Then you're gonna flip the rose upside down and twist it between your hands. What that will do is just kind of help those petals and take up a little bit more room compared to what we were working with before. So we're gonna do each of those one by one. And don't be afraid with these guys. They look delicate, but they are not. This one's got a fantastic before and after story. I can just tell. This is our before. Oh my gosh. This is our after for that exact same flower. Are you kidding me? Look at that compared to the size of my hand. That is insane. Now that we've got all of the roses all fluffed up, I'm gonna try to split them half and half so that I have the 2 even bouquets. I started out with only 8 of these garden roses, so we have got them split 4 and 4. Now we're gonna go ahead and measure these 2 groups of flowers for the 2 vases, since they are 2 different heights, and we are gonna cut off the bottoms of those flowers so that they fit. Now, the important thing when you are cutting the bottom of a flower is that when you're chopping it, you do not want to just chop straight on like this. What that does is that creates very minimal surface area where that flower can actually absorb the water and the nutrients that it's sitting in. What you want to do instead is cut it at an angle about 45 degrees-ish. That way you now have all of this surface area for that flower. Let's start with the tall one first. The short one makes me nervous. I do kind of want it to stick up right around here. So cut it at that angle, and let's see how we're doing here. Maybe a little bit more. It's always better to take off less and then go back to chop a little bit more based off of how they kind of fall. I think I'm liking that. Okay, let's get the rest to that same height and see kind of how that looks. So we're gonna set that to the side for now. Here's the scary part, chopping these up. All right, so with this one, because it is such a short vase, you really have to have the flowers go completely at a sideways angle because they're not gonna sit up straight. Let's just try it. All right. It's scary business around here. No one ever acknowledges how brave I'm being. Let's get all of those the same height. Because now at this point, these are so small, they're like a bouquet, that if they don't work in here, what am I gonna do? I may need to honestly take some more off later, but I'm gonna leave it there for now. With these Billy balls, I have an odd number of them. I've got 5. I'm gonna be splitting 3 of them into the short round one and 2 into the tall one, just because you've got a little bit more width on the short round one and you have more height obviously on the tall one. So I think since these are adding height, I think they would look better adding height onto the short one. We've got these, which they're so cute because they have little yellow flowers starting to come up on them, and I thought that looked really cute with the yellow Billy balls. I'm gonna take these back out, and we kind of want this greenery to be around the same height. I'm gonna keep it to where I cut it with a little bit extra room than it needs, and then I can always cut it shorter later. Because it's sticking up just a little bit taller than the roses might be cute in a couple spots. We just don't want to do it too much. Then that would hide all of the roses. And for these, I want these to help push my roses inwards so that my roses aren't laying right there on the edge of the vase. I'm gonna stick a rose there, stick a rose here, and we're going back to greenery. See how I'm kind of alternating one over the other. We'll stick a rose here. We'll stick that last piece of greenery, and then this one, once I pick them all up. Now we're gonna situate and make sure that they're kind of spaced evenly by pulling bits and pieces of that greenery in between the roses. Let's see how we're looking once we're on the base. And I'm gonna start just moving bits and pieces in between because you've got a lot of stems that are in here kind of fighting against each other. Honestly, looking at this right now, I need to take some height off. I've got a lot of gap here, maybe like 1 inch to 1/2 inch. All right, let's add that back in. All right, we are looking better now. Again, I kind of want that greenery to be partially on the outside instead of that rose sitting exactly right there on the brim. So I'm just kind of picking up these pieces. Here's what I don't want, is these 2 flowers. This one has got no structure in here. So I'm gonna pick it up and manually put it kind of in between that greenery right there. See how much better that looks already, where that it now feels like it is structured and held by the greenery rather than just kind of floating around. But I've got the 2 Billy balls for this one, and this one is interesting because I don't want to cut these Billy balls when I'm cutting these because I want a different height for them. So these guys, I just kind of want sticking out like 1 inch. How we're looking. And we're going smack dab in the middle for these 2. Yeah. They look like little antennas. They're fun. I'm gonna take a little bit more off, and I'm trying to place them differently, different places enough to where they don't look like antennas. You know what, they just might be antennas. Here's what we're working with right now. You've got the fun little pieces of those Billy balls just kind of hidden in there. Let's take a look at the short one now. So this one's tricky because you can see how they already kind of want to fall out like this. When I'm looking at the height for this greenery, a lot of it is going to be down in that vase. Instead of the lay down flat and bring it together, I am doing a little bit different because these really rely on each other to hold each other up. What I have done is tucked in and tucked in. It's almost like building a little teepee. I'm tucking in between the green. I still am gonna need some height gone. Everything in here is so tiny, but I will feel better about that as soon as I get these cute little Billy balls in. So stinking cute. We now have 2 beautiful bouquets for less than $30.